often wonder who the best and worst gaming companies are. Ubisoft, Blizzard, Activision, Valve, Microsoft, but there's one company that everyone watching this video knows about, and they sit directly in the middle. The best, worst gaming company, Nintendo. Now, we're gonna have to dissect this whole thing, so stick around to the end, because Nintendo is weird. They have simultaneously impacted the childhoods and adulthoods of millions of people around the world and pissed off an equal amount of them. Now, I'm not a Nintendo YouTuber, I just talk about whatever's trending or whatever I feel like, and I can't help but notice that it feels like for every absolutely incredible industry-defining feat Nintendo pulls, there always seems to be a negative side effect attached alongside it. Define what it meant to be a 3D game all the way back in the 90s? Yeah, have fun playing it on this fucking thing. Release the best-selling console of all time, introducing people who wouldn't even ever consider playing video games onto the scene, and try to eat the same meal twice. Or now, looking at present day, release some of the absolute greatest games in the past 5 years on a fucking calculator. I know these are very random comparisons, but just hear me out. The Nintendo Switch was sick when it first dropped in 2017. A home console like an Xbox or PlayStation that you could take out of the toaster to use as a portable device. Oh, I was nutting over this thing when it first came out. But a valuable lesson I've learned over the past 7 years, is to not let pure hype fog your vision. Listen, I don't regret buying this console at all. I have really fond memories of using it. But do I think it holds up well today? Well, I think this layer of dust answers that question. I don't want to use this thing because it is underpowered as fuck. Although my sheer amount of hype when it came out allowed me to overlook such a thing. But now, since the magic of this console has pretty much completely worn out due to the passage of time, I now look at it as a portable device that has the capability to display to a monitor. Because that is literally what it is. If you look at Nintendo's history, pretty much every time there's been a comparison between Nintendo, Xbox, and PlayStation, Nintendo is always the weakest. These three, weakest. These three, definitely the weakest. These three, that shit ain't even fair. Obviously, the PS5 and the new Xbox that I definitely remember the name of, released years after the Nintendo Switch, is weaker than the PS4 and the Xbox One. Oh, well, the Switch is a portable console, so... Then why the fuck was it made to directly compete with Xbox and PlayStation? Also, if the cost of portability is this, then in my most humblest of opinions, it is not worth it. That shit ain't worth it. I say so because I'm a firm believer that graphics do matter to a point. Do graphics make or break a game and should serve as the only determining factor if you buy it or not? No, what are we, fucking stupid? But are they an integral part of a game's experience and a piece of the puzzle that shouldn't be overlooked? Yes, what the fuck is that? $60. That's what that is. Like, if the next console this company releases is still not able to run GTA 5 from 2013, I'm gonna eat a fucking phone book. Graphics and especially performance do matter. I mean, I don't even have to explain why. Just, are you looking at this shit? Also, it makes me feel bad for developers who have to work under the conditions of this fucking toaster right here. Do you know how hard it must be to develop a game for a fucking air fryer? So why is every Nintendo console so much weaker than their competitors? It's time to praise Nintendo because they release an underpowered console, meaning it's the perfect home for the greatest fighting game of the fucking century. Yeah! With netcode from the 1940s. Like, is anyone starting to see my confliction with these motherfuckers? Nintendo got the games, man. When the topic of console exclusivity comes up, no one even brings up Nintendo because everyone already knows they're latched onto their IPs and they'll be damned if they even let another company look at one. Zelda, Mario, Kirby, Pokemon, Splatoon, Smash. You will never see these games on any console that doesn't have Nintendo in big bold letters plastered across the front of it because these absolute fucking bangers also serve as their justification for kind of shitty hardware. The kitchen of Nintendo is filled with people just absolutely fucking cooking. Fucking stromboli. Okay, maybe I do kind of sound like Donkey a little bit. Pasta, ravioli, exquisite steak, birthday cake, large fried chocolate shake, that new Fairly Odd Parents remake. Looks like shit. Flames shooting up to the ceiling, all for them to make you eat their meals off of a sewer cap. I 100% believe that Nintendo easily has the power to fucking demolish Xbox and PlayStation. Further backed by the fact that I'm pretty sure a lot of Xbox and PlayStation games are on the Switch, if I'm not mistaken. But Nintendo chooses not to, or how they see it, they don't have to. And through this discussion we've had, we know exactly why. It's because if I show you this, you know, you might not buy it, you know. Maybe you will, maybe not. It's all in the air. I'm buying it. Yup. Show me where to sign. I'm buying that fucking console. Maybe a better analogy would be that Nintendo constantly has the entire video game market in a chokehold, but they're not actually squeezing or applying pressure. They're just staying in this awkward position where they could body slam them through a fucking table, but they don't have to, so why bother? All I see is red! Now, please let me further emphasize why this company continues to confuse the fuck out of me by venting some common frustrations in video form. The console that has, subjectively, the best best library of games, is pretty underpowered like we said, whatever. It makes you play on a fucking French fry unless you spend $80 on a human controller. The console that is home to the most unique, casual, and competitive shooter I've ever played in my life with surprisingly great visuals and a fucking jumping soundtrack requires you to spend money for Nintendo Switch Online even though you didn't have to when the console first came out.
Wait, but doesn't Xbox and PlayStation also—
And you have to use motion controls or else the camera feels like shit. The genius company that decided their console didn't need a fucking Ethernet port are the same people who single-handedly carried millions of people through COVID-19 lockdown with the most peaceful and relaxing game I've ever played in my entire life. Even the Nintendo Direct, the little presentations Nintendo likes to hold to show off games from time to time, which just happened on June 17th, showed off some of the absolute biggest fan favorite games that people have been waiting years for, and then
play as Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, Porky Pig, and more.
What's up, Doc?
That's all, folks.
Let's game on!
Emergency meeting.
Now, am I drawing comparisons from business decisions and game releases that don't even happen in tandem with one another? Yes. But do all these things still culminate together to form the absolute weirdest gaming company I know? Definitely yes. And will you be buying the next Nintendo console because you already know there's gonna be some fire-ass games on that shit? I can't hear what you're saying. I can only read comments, but I'll tell you my answer. Yeah, probably. Like this video and sub to this channel for more of Toko yapping about anything relevant, funny, or both. Go follow my Twitch channel. I like to talk about a lot of random stuff over a bunch of different games. I actually came up with a topic for this video while discussing with Twitch chat, so that's pretty cool. I'm on my way to go play Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on my Nintendo Switch. Greatest racing game of all time, by the way, at least out of the ones I've played. The battery life is 12 minutes.